Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Welcome po sa DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, Payawing Gubat, Sorsogon. Today is February 15. Scheduled for today's pre-bid conference is for the project 24FL0034, construction of Causeway, Barangay Buenavista, Gubat, Sorsogon, Barangay Buenavista, Gubat, Sorsogon. Present here today for today's pre-bid conference are the following: Erwin S. Encinares, Back Chairman; Wilfredo Esfardo, Back Vice Chairman; Dave Almulia, Back Member; Rachel Joy Rocha from Planning Section; Nathaniel B. Alegre, Back Secretariat; Dian Albay, IT; Bernadette T. Laguna, Back Member. Mr. Chair, for today's pre-bid conference, meron na po tayong forum at wala pong present na contractor here today.
Good afternoon. Since we have a quorum, this pre-bid conference is now called to order. And the agenda for this pre-bid meeting are as follows: the basic contract data, the guidelines in submission of bids, the requirements of bidding documents, eligibility criteria, the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including their technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. Question and comments from bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. The summary of proceedings including bid bulletin to be issued and other matters. To discuss to us the basic contract data is Engineer Rod.
Thank you, sir. So we have for the basic contract data of contract ID 24FL0034. With contract name, construction of Causeway, Barangay Buenavista, Gubat, Sorsogon. With contract location at Barangay Buenavista, Gubat, Sorsogon. Approved budget for the contract is 7,920,000 pesos. Source of fund is the FY 2024 GAA. Contract duration is 90 calendar days, and the cost of bidding documents is 10,000 pesos only. The submission of bids is scheduled on February 28, 2024 until 10 a.m. and the opening of bids shall proceed immediately after closing receipt of bids for the major category report, which is RCP. Shown is the sample for the bill of quantities as well as the bid data sheet. All are downloadable through the DPWH website or the PhilJobs. For the minimum manpower requirement, for the project manager, minimum years of similar experience is 5 years. Project engineer, 5 years. Materials engineer, 3 years. Safety health officer, 1 year. General construction foreman, 3 years. And no applicable minimum years of similar experience for skilled workers as well as laborers. For the minimum equipment requirement, we have for the water truck or pump, required number of units is 1 unit. The dump truck is 2 units, payloader 1 unit, backhoe 1 unit, backhoe with pavement breaker 1 unit. Motorized road grader 1 unit, vibratory roller 1 unit, concrete vibrator 2 units, chainsaw 1 unit, bar cutter 1 unit, 1 bagger mixer 1 unit, concrete spreader 1 unit, concrete saw 1 unit, welding machine 1 unit, joint sealer machine 1 unit, and plate compactor 1 unit. Yan naman po ang ating sample for the special conditions of the contract. Shown for the plans and specifications is the cover page of the plan for the construction of Causeway, Barangay Buenavista, Gubat, Sorsogon. We also have the vicinity map location map and key map of the plan, as well as the straight line diagram of the plan and its typical sections. The next slides will be presented to us by Engineer Almulia.
Submission of and receipt of bids. Bids should be submitted to the back on the date, time, as either at its physical address or through online submission specified in the instruction to bidders. Sinusunod po natin ang ating 2 envelope system where eligibility and technical requirements are enclosed in one envelope and the financial requirements in another envelope. Eligibility and technical envelope and financial envelope shall be enclosed in one single envelope. Bid validity po natin is 120 calendar days. Yan po ang tsura ng ating envelopes. Sealing and markings of bids. Original technical eligibility, nasa doon po ng isang envelope. Original financial envelope, lahat po nakalagay naman sa isang envelope. Mark original bid. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract, bid, name of and address of the bidder, back recipient, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date, time of the opening of bids. Okay. Next slide po, naka-separated po ang eligibility at technical, and yung financial po nasa isang envelope din po. Lahat din po nakalagay sa isang envelope marked copy 1 or copy 2. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract we bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient, back, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Lahat po yan, yung original and copies should be enclosed in one mother envelope. Na ganun din po with the markings do not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes, or in case of electronic submission not in compressed archive folders and are not password protected, shall be rejected. Improperly sealed and marked bid envelopes or not properly compressed and password protected will be accepted. However, that the bidder or his duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The bank assumes no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid for its premature opening. Yan po. Unsealed and marked bid shall not be accepted. Not compressed and password protected shall not be accepted. Improperly sealed and marked shall be accepted. Improperly compressed and password protected shall be accepted, provided that the bidder shall acknowledge the condition of bid as submitted. For electronic submission of bids, the bidders shall submit their bids through any of the above-mentioned online electronic facilities at any time before the closing date and time specified in the bidding documents. Two-factor security procedure, archived and password protected, allow access to a password-protected bidding documents. Password shall be disclosed by the bidders or only during the actual of bid opening, capable of generating an audit trail of transaction. Submission and receipt of bids for bid notification po. Bids submitted after the deadline shall not be accepted. The bank secretary shall notify in writing all bidders whose bid it has received through its PDF's registered physical address or email address within 7 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. For bids modification, bid modification before the deadline on submission of bids. Bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid. The bidder shall submit a new bid equally sealed, properly identified, linked to its original bid and marked as a modification. For letter of withdrawal must be received prior to the deadline for submission of bids. For bids withdrawn within the interval between deadline and expiration of bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic submission of bid, bidder shall send another bid equally secured, properly identified, and labeled as modification of the one previously submitted. The time indicated in the latest bid receipt page generated shall be official time of submission. Meron po tayong 2 modes of submission of bid. Either manual submission of bid or electronic submission of bid. A bidder may opt only one mode lang po sa pag-submit ng bid. For manual submission of bid, yan po ay sa Bank Secretariat Office, DPWH Sorsogon 2nd DO, Barangay Payawin, Gubat, Sorsogon. For electronic submission of bids naman po, yan po ay sa electronic bids _Sorsogon 2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Requirements of bidding documents. Ang mga documents po ito ay nakapost po sa DPWH websites and sa PDF's to aid our contractors in preparation of their bids. Ang mga documents po ito ay instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid data sheet, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and sample forms. Eligibility criteria. To be eligible to participate in the bidding of the said project, a bidder must be a duly licensed Filipino citizen for sole proprietorship, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, or persons, entities forming themselves into a joint venture as per section 23.4.2.1 of the IR. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in accordance with the guidelines issued by the GPPB as per section 23.4.2.2 of the IR. Bidders must have a valid pickup license, must have a single largest completed contract that is similar to the contract to be bid, at least 50% of the ABC. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience, provided that the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the ERCC of registration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC. Eligibility and technical documents to be submitted. We encourage our bidders to enroll in our civil work application to facilitate the fast evaluation of their eligibility. However, if they have not yet enrolled in the CWA, these are the documents they have to submit. Class A legal documents, PhilJOB certificate of registration, mayor's permit, DTI tax clearance, pickup license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, statement of the SLCC, computation of the MFCC, valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Bid security in a form of cash, manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee, surety bond, or bid securing declaration. Project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to bid, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' major equipment units, owned, leased, or under purchase agreement. Omnibus sworn statement, duly notarized. Please be guided na lang po ng GPPB Resolution number 16 sa ating format ng ating omnibus sworn statement. Mamaya po, i-discuss po natin yung laman niya. Eligibility requirements, Class A, legal documents. PhilJOB Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership. Dapat po, meron na po kayong PhilJOB Certificate with Platinum Membership. As per GPPB Resolution number 15, 2021, lifting the suspension on the implementation of mandatory submission of PhilJOB Certificate of Platinum Registration and Membership in competitive bidding and limited source bidding. Dapat po, meron na po kayong Platinum Membership. Class A technical documents, statement of all ongoing contracts, statement of the single largest completed contract, pickup license, special pickup license for joint venture agreements. Class A financial documents, net financial contracting capacity, yung NFCC po. Class B, in case of joint venture, dapat po naka-attach din po yung joint venture agreements between parties. Eligibility requirements. Recently expired mayor's permit, business permit shall be accepted together with OR. The renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirements in accordance with Section 34.2 of the 2016 IRR. Submission of BRC for renewal or of tax clearance will not suffice in lieu of valid tax clearance. Submission of provisionary tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not acceptable from form of tax clearance as per GPPB Resolution number 1, 2014. So dapat po may valid po kayong tax clearance na hindi po pwede yung special na tax clearance. Eligibility and technical requirements. Statement of the prospective bidders of ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract will be. The statement should include all information required in the bidding documents. The single largest completed contract should be similar to the contract to be bid or has the same major categories of work. The single largest completed contract value should be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid upon adjustment of current prices using the PSA consumer price indices. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience, provided the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of their registration. Valid pickup license, special pickup license for joint ventures, registration for the type and cost of the contract we bid should be valid at the time of the deadline for the submission and opening hours. Bid security, mamimili lang po kayo dyan. Either cash or manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee, 2% po yan, issued by a universal bank or commercial bank. Or you can also submit surety bond, callable at 1 demand, 5% of the ABC, or you can submit yung bid security declaration. Please be guided na lang po ng GPPB Resolution number 16 sa format po ng ating bid security declaration. Yan po ang ating bid security declaration. Pagdating din po sa Omnibus Sworn Statement, dapat po lahat pong statement na yan ay nakalagay po sa ating Omnibus Sworn Statement. As maki-refer na lang po ulit sa GPPB Resolution number 16, 2020 sa format po ng ating Omnibus Sworn Statement. For financial envelope, ang laman po niyan ay ang bid form, summary bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment, cash flow by quarter, month, and payment schedule, other documents required in the bidding documents. For detailed evaluation of bid, unless the instruction to bidders specifically allows partial bids, those not providing all the required items shall be considered non-responsive. Placing no price is considered non-responsive. Specifying a zero or dash means it is offered for free. Ang purpose po ng ating bid evaluation is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids, ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. Ang method po natin, a non-discretionary criterion shall be used, which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. Results shall be contained in the abstract of bids. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and bid prices in words, bid price in words shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the item times the quantity. The unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. Stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items. The actual sum of prices of component items shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities. The unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Reminder po, yung no contact rule, prohibition on communication with bidders from bid evaluation until award. For post qualification naman po, ang purpose po natin is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies with the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents to be declared as the lowest calculated responsive bid. Ang method po natin is a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion which shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated. Thank you.
Okay, since we have no other matters to discuss, this pre-bid conference for today is now adjourned.